yeah, I want to share my experience of how I have been using Sanskrit chanting to improve my oral health situation. So keep watching this video. Basically, a while back, I had a really horrible wisdom tooth extraction, which was horrible on a lot of fronts. The wisdom tooth extraction itself was very painful, and then after that, especially the next 2 weeks were horrible. I had a lot of problems, pain. I was on painkillers for 5-6 days, but it was just very, very bad. And it caused a lot of other problems, like it increased my dry eyes really badly. It was causing some ear pains, and in general, it was extremely uncomfortable. How my knowledge of Ayurveda, because I've learned Ayurveda, how that helped me to cope with it. And then I finally went to an Ayurvedic doctor, a Kerala Ayurvedic expert in Ahmedabad, and I got proper medicines, and that really helped me with the healing journey. And then for the next 2 months, that 2 months are just over, and I think I'm just moving into a phase where some level of normalcy is coming back like before, but that's just happening. So what I did was the Ayurvedic medicines ran their course, and even after a point, the Ayurvedic medicines seemed to be having some side effect. So I stopped it, because even after 2-3 weeks, the entire oral situation was extremely weird. There were some obvious problems. I think one of the main problems was tongue bites and cheek bites, which I've never had in my whole life. I don't want to scare people who genuinely need a wisdom tooth extraction. I don't think everybody goes through it, but I went through it and I did not genuinely need the wisdom tooth extraction. That was the best part, because after I got it done, I realized that that dentist had misled me. And there were a lot of other situations that kind of collaborated with which I finally had that pretty horrible experience. So there was also that psychological aspect taking place of having gone through a very painful, needless medical intervention, and then that having a lot of bad repercussions later on. What happened was, when I was in the Isha ashram, I met this meditator who went through cancer actually, and while they went through chemotherapy, they were resorting to all of these holistic means to take care of all the side effects of chemotherapy. Because, the moment we say cancer, all alarm bells go off, and it's just, it's just such a horrible process. Not only do the allopathic medicines kill the cancer cells, but they badly affect the entire body, and the side effects are terrible. I know other stories also of people who, after the allopathic treatment, are in a state where you cannot really say they are living. They are in a terrible state of health, even though the cancer is over. So this person in the ashram was doing a great job of using holistic means, all of the sadhana and everything, obviously the kriya practices, the meditation practices, but a lot of other Ayurvedic and naturotherapy and walking on grass and all such things to sort of, and they were doing really well. So that was a very inspiring experience for me. At that same time, I was going through these tooth problems. The wisdom tooth extraction was so violent actually, and again, there was no reason for it to be. It seems that the doctor was massively incompetent, and for whatever reason, I did not realize it. Anyway, it was so violent that it actually scared me. So apart from all the actual implications in the mouth, I also had a fear, because I almost thought my tongue will get damaged and I might end up having speech disabilities. Those kind of thoughts were running in my mind when I was getting that done. I was in the middle of it and I didn't know what to do about it. So I'm saying there were a lot of mental and actual physical implications taking place. And inspired by this person who went through this cancer treatment in such a holistic and a great way, I started incorporating some of it. The first thing I started was Guru Pooja. My thing was actually not just about doing Guru Pooja. My thing was also that I wanted to do Sanskrit chanting, because I was, you see, there were changes in the mouth, right? And so I was having a fear that my speech may get affected, even though I knew it was not getting affected, because I asked other people and I was recording videos, and I don't think you can notice in that. But I decided that Sanskrit chanting might really help, because I remember one day I was sitting for Sadhguru satsang with a small group of people, and in that he had mentioned that one of the best ways that somebody had asked him whether the Isha Samskriti students would be capable when they go out in the world. Because if you don't know, then Isha Samskriti is a school where only the traditional arts and classical arts and stuff are taught in a main way. The academic studies is side. So what he said was, he made someone chant a Sanskrit shloka in front of them, and he said that just look at the number of intonations that Sanskrit has. The pronunciations are so much more deeper and more than the normal language that we speak. And so what he said is, when you have to make so many intonations at the speech level, naturally your mind also is a lot more capable. This kind of came back to my mind, and I decided that okay, if I'm thinking of any kind of speech problems taking place, or even if I have a doubt, why don't I just start chanting Sanskrit? And if I can chant my Sanskrit properly, then there won't be an issue. Apavitra pavitrova sarvavastangatope va yasmaret pundarikaksham sabhahyabhyantara shuchihi avahanam narayanam. So I started the Guru Puja because it made sense, also because Guru Puja has always been on my to-do list for ages and I've never been able to stick to it. But because of this, I brought in the Guru Puja, and I said that is also Sanskrit, so that is going to play the dual role. Because I was also feeling a little shaken from inside, so the Guru Puja would also give me some protection, a feeling of protection in my heart, and it would help me with the Sanskrit pronunciations. One of the biggest differences that happened after I started chanting Guru Puja, of course, the first thing was that I could see that I can pronounce everything. Maybe some of the words are taking little more effort, but there was no major problem. And I have taken the course with Sanskrit channel. They had like some 3-4 day course, or maybe 1 week, where they taught us the basic Sanskrit pronunciations, and in that they had explained that one of the biggest things about Sanskrit is the phonetics, like the way you pronounce the letters. So this really helped me. First of all, it instilled the confidence that no major speech problem is happening. Maybe because I've gone through this pain, there is a laziness in the mouth where the tongue doesn't want to move, or mouth doesn't want to open, or something like that, which can be worked on. It will be sorted. So that was a big boost. The second thing that happened was, because my mouth had gone through this big ordeal, I was almost contemplating going off talking and going off food for some time. Like I thought, let's just go into silence for a week. What is the big deal? And I can reduce my food also if I wanted. That was my response, because sadhaka's ego is like that. If some hardship comes, you just hold your sadhana as a shield, and you just say, I'll just increase my sadhana. What will you do? Nothing you'll do. Some tooth problem happens. So what? I won't eat. I won't speak. So anyway, I was in that kind of mindset. And then I started doing my Guru Puja, and so much devotion came within me. And then I said, okay, fine, I won't stop speaking. If I don't want to speak, I'll stop others speaking, but I'll do my chanting. So there was a lot of sweetness in speech. There were 2 big things that happened with Guru Puja. Along with Guru Puja, what I started was Maheshwari Stotra. This is what I learned when I was doing the Sanskrit channel course. So along with the pronunciation, they taught us the pronunciation through the Maheshwari Stotra. It's a beautiful stotra. It's just the Barakhadi actually. You just keep speaking the letters in a certain formation. And the very interesting thing is that the way the letters are placed is along that circle around Nataraja. And that itself is so mystical, and I don't know what secrets this whole thing holds, why it is arranged on, on the circle of Nataraja like this, in this particular formation. A, I, Un, Rul, Ruk, E, Ong, I, Ouch, Haya, Varat, Lana, Nyamangana, Nam, Jabanya, Ga, Da, Dash, Jabagada, Dash, Khapa, Chatata, Chatata, Kapai, Shashasar, Hal. Why these particular sounds are lined up like this, it's all a big, I'm sure there's a lot. If we wanted to go deeper, we could go into it. But I followed my Guru Puja with the Maheshwari Stotra. I chant it like 5 times minimum, but sometimes I do more, depends. Sometimes I feel I'm not pronouncing specific letters properly, then I go more, do it multiple times. And After that, I decided to sum it up with Aum Chanting. Aum Chanting is one of the most powerful meditations that I've learned in Isha. It's one of the basic ones. You don't even need to do the inner engineering or any program. If you go to the Isha Yoga Center, every single day at around 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock near the Dhyanalingam temple, they have the Aum Chanting initiation. You have to go and ask. So you can just learn the Aum Chanting. It's like, it's so flexible. Any time of day you can do, even after food we can do it. For 10 minutes, 15 minutes, for 40 minutes, for 2 hours if we want, we can do it. It's extremely relaxing. And the Aum Mantra is considered as the very, very primordial one, which pretty much anyone is allowed to do. And it's probably the one with no side effects, I would say, then it would be this one. So yeah, I did these 3 sets I have been doing together for the last 1.5, 2 months actually now. And it's been going wonderfully well. And as I mentioned, I was never able to stick to my Guru Puja, but thankfully I have been able to stick to it now, especially because I have this added intention of making my mouth speak all the proper sounds. And one of the things I realized is when I come on to shoot my videos, my pronunciation is a lot more clearer and specific. Earlier I may be just slurring through. I don't know if you can notice, I'm being very specific with certain words. It's not something I'm doing consciously. It's happened because when I'm doing my Sanskrit chanting, I'm so specific. So yeah, that's all. I just wanted to share with you that, oral health is put in this compartment where you're talking about dental products and dentists, but you may not be aware that Ayurveda, first of all, can play a big role, and something random as Sanskrit chanting, Sanskrit chanting can play. If you enjoy this content, do consider signing up for my membership community. It starts at 89 INR for now. It is a place where I basically share a little bit more of my deeper thoughts and musings, which I'm not completely comfortable putting out in the public space. I may also do exclusive videos on these kind of topics which are a little bit more sensitive in nature. For example, how is Shiva talked about within Jainism? While some of the aspects I'm happy to share about in my public videos, which I may do in the future, but there are certain aspects which are very controversial, and of course it is a way for you all to support this channel, which takes a lot of effort and time, and I am trying to monetize it in different means, but it will definitely help.